All right, I want to welcome everyone to the Meet the Need monthly user webinar. Our focus this month is city reaching best practices. We're going to get started, but first I want to open in prayer. It's always the best way to get started. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for yet another day that you've allowed us to be here on this earth. And Lord, we thank you for the opportunities that you put in front of us to be the hands and feet of your Son, Jesus. Lord, I pray for all the church and nonprofit and city-reaching leaders, Lord, that are on this call or maybe watching in the future, Lord, that you continue to provide all that they need to fulfill the calling that you have called them to do. Lord, let them be open to all the opportunities that you put in front of them and give them the means to make those come true. Lord, it's in your Son, Jesus' name, that we pray. Amen. All right, my name is Tanya Nichols. I am the Director of Member Services at Meet the Need. We have a lot to cover with you today, so we're going to dive in and get started on time, and my plan is to get you out of here at the end of the hour. All right, if you have a few housekeeping things. If you need to communicate with me in any way, you can chat through your GoToMeeting little dashboard. You can put questions and comments in there, and I can see those questions and comments on another screen, and I can respond to those in real time or when I'm able to pause in between different subjects that we're covering. So definitely use that chat feature if you need to, and I hope you do, and hope to get feedback as we're going throughout the webinar. All right, today our agenda, we do have a guest speaker, and I'm excited to have Jennifer Lester, who's the Executive Director of Serve OK from Edmond, Oklahoma with us, and she's going to be sharing some best practices of Meet the Need that they put into place so that you can copy some of those and hear how everything actually works that we set out to give you guys. I will talk about some best practices on how to reach your city after Jennifer shares. We'll talk about sharing, Meet the Need in your network, showing needs and other things on your website, and show you some other examples besides Serve OK, and how you can keep the momentum going within your city. And then I'm excited, at the end of the webinar, I'm going to be sharing with you some new features that are going live next week. We have our reformatted Meet the Need search page and some other features coming, as well as an updated Meet the Need website. So I will give you a sneak peek at those. There'll be a newsletter going out on it, but I wanted to give you guys a sneak peek at that. And then go ahead and mark your calendars. Our next webinar is June 7th at 1 p.m. Now, typically our webinars are every second Tuesday, but in June they won't be because we had a conflict in our calendar. So it will be June 7th at 1 p.m. Eastern, and the topic is going to be Meet the Need, Best Practices, and Power Users. And we will hit power users from churches, nonprofits, and city-reaching organizations all in one webinar. And we will not have a webinar in July just because schedules are kind of crazy in the summer, and we'll resume in August with that second Tuesday in August. So a lot to cover, so let's go ahead and dive in. See what we've got here. Oh yes, if you're an organization on the call right now or watching in the future and you haven't registered your organization with Meet the Need yet, it's easy to do. It takes less than 10 minutes. You can go to meettheneed.org, click the Quick Start button, and it'll walk you through like 5 quick steps. There's a video that's included in there. And then after that process, which I said is less than 10 minutes, you have access to your dashboard and all 4 modules of Meet the Need and all the, the no-cost features that we offer through your dashboard. You can start posting needs, showing needs, sharing needs, within 10 minutes of registering. And then next week our website is changing, so if you're watching this video or this webinar later, you're going to go to meettheneed.org, and there's going to be a section that says Get Software, and then you'll choose Quick Start, and then the process is the same. So how you enter into that registration process is just a little different. It'll be changing, but I'll talk more about that towards the end of this webinar. All right, since our focus today is on city-reaching organizations, and how to best reach your city and connect your city in service, I thought it was best to start with a definition of what a city-reaching organization is from a Meet the Need standpoint. We look at 5 different kind of characteristics of an organization to determine if they're a city-reaching organization, and here's what they are. Primarily, if you are an organization that is there to unite, there to connect churches, ministries, and community organizations to serve together. If part of your mission is to equip those ministries and churches and community organizations by providing training and resources to assist them, then you probably are a city-reaching organization. If you're there to empower those organizations to connect together and to post needs and to offer services and resources, then you're probably a city-reaching organization. And then if you're there to help to connect those organizations together to receive help, typically a city-reaching organization, from what we see, doesn't offer services in their area, but that's not to say that you can't or that you're not a city-reaching organization if you do, because some of them do but some do offer services, like maybe services to the homeless or tutoring or something, and at the same time their mission is to connect the church and the ministries together in the city. So typically, though, the primary feature is to connect, or characteristic. And then to engage. You may plan larger events to help unite the city together and have multiple organizations serving together. You may or may not have that, and opportunities to engage as one body to make a citywide difference. So if you see that, maybe 3 out of 5 of these characteristics are your organization, then you're probably what we consider a city-reaching organization. If you're there to unite, equip, empower, connect, and engage. All right, I want to introduce our guest speaker for the day. Jennifer Lester received her bachelor's degree in science and missions at the Southern Nazarene University. She served 2 years as a missionary in the Caribbean, with much of that related to time in Haiti with disaster relief. She comes to Serve OK with experience in connecting volunteers with needs in the community through her work as programs and volunteer director at Reaching Our City, which is another organization there in their area. It's a compassionate care ministry helping families in need. God has planted a huge desire in her life to see the body of believers unite together to meet the needs in her community, and that is exactly what she's living out through Serve OK in Edmond, Oklahoma as the executive director. Jennifer, are you there?
Yes, thank you for having me today.
Yes, we're glad to have you, and Serve OK has been a Meet the Need user for several years now, before you were even on board with Serve OK, and we're glad to have you here to talk about how you guys are utilizing Meet the Need, and just in general what you guys are doing in your community, and what's working, what's not working, so other city-reaching organizations can learn from that and maybe even use some of the same resources and strategies and structure like you guys are doing.
Yes, well, Serve OK, our mission is to serve as a bridge to connect the Christian community with needs in Central Oklahoma, and our vision is to transform our community by motivating God's people to help those in need, bringing glory to God. And so we do this in a variety of ways, but kind of give you a little history of Serve OK. We were originally called Revive, and we are in the process of changing our name, but we were founded in 2007 by a group of Christian women who were looking for a way to encourage Christians to use their Bible knowledge in the community. And so they started with having conferences to encourage the ladies to see what those needs are by inviting different nonprofits together to share what their needs are and how they can be involved in serving. We also hosted a bus tour, which we're hoping this year to revive in a kind of a 2.0 version. The bus tour started out with pastors' wives, and we had about 40 wives come, and we took them around to the different nonprofits in our community and shared with them what they do, and they received a tour as well as how their churches could be more involved. And from that, many of those churches became involved and served in those nonprofits and have continued even now to do that. And so we're looking at doing a smaller version of bus tours, helping those churches to actually see the nonprofits within their own community and how they can wrap their services around them and help them to reach out into their community even more. We also had banquets to help bring awareness, as well as we hosted ShareFest for about 3 years, and this was a time for churches across our city to have a day of service, and they would go into the different nonprofits in the community and have a work day and serve. And many of those churches, after doing that for several years, made us aware that they were doing that throughout the year, and was there a way to better connect them to those needs within their community so they could continue to do that throughout the year. And so that's where we began to look to find a resource or online platform to help them be able to see what those needs are. And so we came across Meet the Need and are utilizing that to help our churches connect and the nonprofits to be able to connect with each other and those churches.
Yeah, I love that idea for a bus tour. You guys are the only city I've heard of that does something like that or has done something like that in the past. You know, it's hard to bring all of those ministries to each individual church and let them know what's going on, but what a fun way to take the church, especially the leaders. You did the pastors' wives, maybe it's the leaders of the churches, but taking them out, kind of hijacking them for the day and taking them out and letting them experience firsthand and hear from those ministries. I love that idea, and I hope that other city reaching organizations may try to, you know, organize something similar to that. I think those would be very successful. Have y'all found some success in that, Jennifer?
Yeah, we had one report. There's an organization called Bethel Foundation, and one of the churches really connected with them and embraced them. And so even now, they're still working with that same church. I know from my experience of working at The Rock, we had a church that came for ShareFest each year that did activities and stuff like that, and they continue to be a big supporter of reaching our city and helping with their times and needs, and they're just down the road from the organization there. And so there's many of them that have continued to be supportive and to work with those nonprofits. We're just excited to see how God can open those doors for those churches that maybe haven't identified a community resource organization that they can sponsor or help to resource. And so that's where we're trying to reinvent the bus tour to help those church organizations. Maybe they have a Sunday school class that really wants to get involved, but they just don't know where or how. And so connecting with them and getting them out into their local community to be able to see what those options are for them.
Yeah, and that coupled with Meet the Need, I mean, the bus tour gives them that hands-on experience and going out and hearing firsthand, and then leaving them with, oh, and hey, by the way, you can put a link on your website to see all the needs of all these organizations that we just went to today, and really give your members an open window or an open door to those needs if you want, or narrow down to see specific needs of specific organizations. Really, you know, you're not just giving them the experience, but you're giving them the tools that they need to really take it to the next level and bring it to life at their church.
Right, yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, tell us a little bit about how ServeOK, what features you're primarily using through Meet the Need, and then we'll walk through some print screens of how you're doing that.
So our primary is the community search, and so on our website we have a serve page which has the posting of all the public needs that the nonprofits have posted. And so we have, currently think there's like 170 different posts. One organization I think has posted everything possible that they ever may need, but it gives a lot of options for those individuals that are looking for ways that they can serve in the community. But what's nice about it is it's one place for the public to be able to find ways that they can serve, and it's open to the public to see those needs that are posted, and those organizations to be able to have one central location for them to post on our public website, but also to those churches. I think that's what's so exciting, is that they can post in one place and it goes to multiple areas to show those things. And so that's one of the things. The customized directory is another. And we call it our community resources. This is where the nonprofits and churches can post what services they offer and how they can reach into the community. This is a great way. I have people calling and asking, hey, I'm needing these services. I can usually go to our directory and find what those resources are and get them connected to the nonprofit or church or organization that can help assist them. And so we have our government officials that actually have called multiple times to help connect individuals that are looking for assistance. They've gone on there to resource those families and individuals, and so that's been really beneficial, as well as we're able then to pull off that listing into a document, and I'm working on actually dropping that into like a mapping system so that we can actually map out where those resources are and how they're serving within our community, so that if there's an area, a pocket of our city that is lacking a resource, we are working with other community organizations to help holistically transform in certain areas of our community. And so this helps us kind of see what resources are there, who needs to be at the table, and how we can actually effectively transform those communities that are in desperate need of God and help to pull themselves out of poverty. And so we're excited about that. We also utilize the event module. In fact, as a part of helping with events and activities, this has been really useful for us. We hosted at Southern Nazarene University, they had students from all over Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana come in town. They asked us to host an event where the students would bring donations and then have an opportunity to actually distribute out those donations to those nonprofits. And so we were able to use this event module to help keep track of what donations came in, how much came in, who they were going to, and how many volunteer hours were given. And so that was really beneficial for us. And then the sharing with the partners, it's been great to be able to connect with our partner organizations to really help them see how effectively and efficiently this platform can help them to share with each other, but also keep track of their volunteer hours, of events and activities going on. And so we're working more to try to better connect those partners together. But it's also been a great resource, even with sharing this. It's been great to see how God has been working through them to better connect with other nonprofits themselves and making those partnerships. We host a networking event about 8 to 10 times out of the year, about once a month or so, and we go to different nonprofits, and these nonprofits and leaders have been saying these opportunities for connecting and sharing with each other about what we do and how they can serve and what their needs are has really been beneficial, because those partner organizations are communicating with each other and sharing resources and helping meet those needs of our families and our community. And so it's been really exciting to see how God's been at work in all that.
Yeah, just looking at your website, I've got a print screen up here I'm going to go to. You'll have like 7 different menus up here. 3 out of the 7 menus are kind of powered by Meet the Need, which is awesome that we're able to be one of your primary platforms to be able to really mobilize in 3 different ways, 3 different audiences. And we see this in a lot of city reaching organizations. It's 3 audiences you guys, are trying to reach. You're trying to reach at first the volunteers wanting to look for places to serve and to live out their passions and abilities. You want to be able to connect those in need with resources in the community, which you guys are doing through the customized directory that we built for you. And then if you're a true city reaching organization, you're probably trying to connect organizations and leaders in the city, and so Meet the Need, sharing that helps to bring everyone on the same network and give them even more resources to do outreach year round. So you guys have done a wonderful job at really implementing the Meet the Need best practices that we recommend and really addressing all 3 of those audiences through your website and through the resources that we offer for you guys. All right. And if you have any questions as we're going along for Jennifer or for myself, feel free to type those in the chat screen, and we'll take a pause at different parts of the webinar and answer questions as well. So Jennifer, bring me up to speed. I mean, we've talked a lot about what you guys are doing there at Serve OK, but what are some other current focuses that you have going on in your city and through Serve OK?
So yeah, there's been, like I said, the networking events, which have been really amazing to see how it's grown. I started going when they kind of first started, and there was like 10 before I was a part of Serve OK, and now we're averaging close to 50 different organizations and ministries and leaders that have been attending, which has been really great because they have the opportunity to share what they do and make connections with other nonprofits so that when they are trying to resource their community or the families in which they work with daily, they know who to contact if there's something that they can't do. They know who to send them to, and so that's been really beneficial for our community to be able to do that. We also do the radio interviews, which is oftentimes where we share what we do, but we also focus on sharing what our partners do so that they can be highlighted, because most of the times those nonprofits that are out there are very busy and there's not much time in the day to try to go meet with the media and share what they're doing or what their needs are, and so we try to do that in those interviews as well as our e-newsletter that gets sent out to our database, is sharing what those needs are and how they can best serve those nonprofits in our community. And then we are working on sponsoring some specific projects and helping our community reach out more. And so through like the SMU event that we hosted, we're working to try to do some more of those events, maybe in conjunction with our bus tour, so that it's a follow-up for engaging within the community for those churches. And then we also do awareness events. Last year we helped to host the Walk a Mile, which is a foster care event to bring awareness. This year we're looking at doing an event to bring awareness for multiple agencies, such as what we're going to potentially call Amazing Race, and Amazing Race to Serve, and so it would be an opportunity for the community just to get involved in serving within the community and be able to kind of touch multiple different organizations to see what those needs are and how they can be a part of assisting. And then a big thing which we're about to present, we've been a part of a disaster preparedness circle for our community, and we're sharing this vision of how the church, how the city is loved by the church in our community, and how we can work on strategically finding what those resources are before a disaster and how we can implement those resources into the community that has had that disaster. And so through the directory, that will be helpful to us to be able to identify what resources are currently effective and where, and how we can get in contact with them and utilize those resources if their community has been affected by disaster. And so we're really excited to see how God will work within that to help bring awareness. We are working to help streamline those spontaneous volunteers that come during disaster and funnel them into the organizations that would receive them through the Meet the Need platform and stuff. So we're really excited for what God has ahead. It's always a challenge to really know if the direction you're going is exactly the path you need to take, but God has definitely been opening doors right at the perfect timing, and we're just continue to follow Him and hope and pray that we're doing whatever we can to glorify Him. So it's been great.
Yeah, I love how anywhere from the radio interviews to the events that you do, It's all about bringing awareness to the plethora of needs in the community and the variety of needs that there are. You guys don't necessarily provide services to those in need through ServeOK, but you try to keep that focus of letting everyone know what's out there, what's available if they're in help or if they need help, and what's available if they want to go and help. And
Right.
the disaster preparedness, we're working with you guys as well on we're taking live next week, and everyone will have access to this, a way that you can post offers. So you can say, hey, I can fix roofs in the event of a disaster or whatever it may be, and you can post the offer, and those offers will show up on the dashboards of local key contacts. So when a disaster hits, you'll have kind of a inventory of what people can do and contact them and get them mobilized. So you have that connection ahead of time instead of waiting for the need and people to connect in the midst of the crisis.
Right. Yeah. That's one thing that for us here in Oklahoma would be it's key. Especially since after last night having 22 tornadoes on the ground in our state,
Oh,
it's
wow.
definitely needed to know where those resources are and how we can tap into them in a moment's notice to help
Yeah,
get the resources to the right people.
absolutely. So, Jennifer, tell us a little bit about, oh, wait a minute, my sound is messing up. Tell us a little bit about what are some challenges that you've had and how you've overcome some of those, overcome some of them, or how you're in the process of overcoming them. Because I'm sure whatever challenges you're having in Edmond and ServeOK, other city reaching organizations are probably having the same challenges.
Yeah. So one challenge we have found it was the church's involvement. To start out, when we first started utilizing Meet the Need, the nonprofits really grasped hold of what it could do and how it could benefit them. But we hadn't gotten the first step, which is getting that large church involved. And so it's been challenging to get into the right people at the church because we do have some large churches here in the area, and sometimes you have to find the right person to talk to for that church to really take hold of it and utilize it. And so we're still working on getting into those specific churches. And then the church's focus. Some of them, they already have a way to share with their congregants how what their needs are within their church, or maybe through an email blast or different things. And so it's helping them to see that this system, yes, it's a little different from the way that they've done it in the past, can be really helpful to them and take some time off their plate. But it's getting past that initial stage of, well, we've always done it this way, to actually step into a new technique and utilizing that. And some of them have already purchased different systems that they use for communication with their church members or tracking or different things like that. And so I had a pastor say, well, I've already learned this system. Why would I want to go and learn another system? And so it's just helping them, I think, be educated and knowing that this is a system that would connect much more than just their church, but their communities together to help meet those needs. And so we're working on sharing those and getting that out there. And we're hoping through, especially the disaster preparedness, which is they're looking at utilizing us as the main hub to connect those different churches, organizations, nonprofits, and even businesses to help see what those needs are. And then always for any nonprofit, fundraising is huge. Need for us and a challenge. Since we are not an organization that does direct services, getting those specific numbers to hit that heartstring for people to be interested in giving, that's some of the challenge that we have. And so this year, after they've brought me on, we're working on doing some big fundraisers and events and trying to bring events that would also bring awareness as a part of a fundraiser to help move our ministry forward.
Yeah, and it seems like almost all of your activities and events that you guys do is about bringing awareness, not just to ServeOK, but to everyone as a whole. And so that's an
Right.
important part of fundraising. All right. So tell us a little bit about what are your next steps or your forward movement of what's happening there at Serve OK. You hit on some of
So
these.
yeah, some of I've already hit on board retreats. We do a board retreat once a year to help kind of get us refocused on what is the goal of our ministry and what are our next steps. What are some things that our board hopes to see occur throughout the next year? And so we usually have it in August, and so that will be up and coming, getting that prepared. Like I said, we do have a fundraiser. Actually, we have one on the 22nd of May. So if you keep us in your prayers that the Lord will bless during that time. We're also honoring our founder who started the ministry. She is terming off our board, and so we're hoping that that also helps bring some new faces and awareness of what we do and how they can be a part. And then, like I said, we're reviving the bus tours and adding a Serve OK Day in conjunction with that to hopefully get those churches more involved within their communities. And so always getting the word out through newspaper and our newsletters, the magazine articles, radio interviews, and then events and ways that we can help bring more awareness. Our focus is definitely to try to help our partner nonprofits get the word out for what their needs are. And so as a connecting organization, that's our main focus.
Well, thank you, Jennifer, for sharing. I mean, you've shared a plethora of information, and I'm sure that everyone is taking diligent notes and be aware that we are recording the webinar, and so I'll send a recording out to everyone so you'll have all this information going forward if you want to share it with other leaders within your organization. But if you have any questions for Jennifer, feel free to type those in and we can address those as we move on in the webinar. But Jennifer, thank you for joining us. If you want to hang tight, because there may be some questions at the end, we would love for you to stay on the line. If you want to mute and just hang out with us, that would be terrific.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. All right, well, we're going to dive into some city reaching best practices. A lot of these that I'm going to talk about, Jennifer has touched on with how Serve OK uses Meet the Need, but I'm going to show you some other examples as well and point you into how you can do the same things that Serve OK is doing. One of the biggest things, and Jennifer alluded to this in one of her topics, is as a city reaching organization, one of the things we recommend is what we call the viral rollout process for your city when you're just getting started. And it's starting with the larger, more influential churches in your city, not because they're bigger and better, but because they have more influence in the city. And typically when you share Meet the Need with a larger church and you find that right person, that connection that you have, especially if you already have a relationship, it helps make that easier. But the larger church will then go, oh, wow, this can take some workload off of our staff if we share it with our nonprofits that we partner with. A large church may have 10 different partnerships with homeless ministries and shelters and, pregnancy centers, the different, types of nonprofits that they would partner with. They're going to go share it with those nonprofit partners. Those partners are going to join because they want their needs to show on that church's website. But then once they start using it, they're like, wait a minute, my needs can show on more churches' websites. So then those nonprofits start to share with more churches, and then before you know it, within a 4 to 6 month period, the city can be up and connected together, and several churches, several ministries using Meet the Need and on a common platform sharing needs and not duplicating that process over 3 or 4 or 5 different systems or spreadsheets or emails going back and forth, the really inefficient ways to communicate needs. I do want to recommend that if you're a city reaching organization to go to meettheneed.org/partner. That's the same page is also available on your dashboard through the share button. But this is where all the resources are available. Here's that viral rollout process for a city is on that page, how to get started as a city reaching organization, and we provide you with resources for when you're ready to share with your churches and to share with your nonprofits in your city, specific resources for those organizations for you to be able to go out and, if you want to print a flyer to take with you when you talk, or you want to have a PowerPoint presentation, or an email or a letter to send to them, or a full color brochure, even what their next steps are and testimonials and this is my favorite document, the frequently asked questions, where it has all the questions that a church or a nonprofit ever asked of Meet the Need before they started using us, and answers to those questions so that you can be educated as a city reaching organizer or administrator in sharing Meet the Need in your city. So definitely take advantage of these resources. We recommend one-on-one meetings, group gatherings, online meetings, of course following up, emails, newsletters, sharing stories of different people that are serving. All of this is available, or resources are available for you to conduct those type of meetings through that partner page, and we hope that you take advantage of those. These are all free resources that we offer for our city reaching organizations. Posting needs. I mean, in the ideal world, a city reaching organization may not ever have to post a need and meet the need unless you just want to. Really, Serve OK, they have events they do here and there, but they don't post needs for daily things because they're not a ministry, or they don't provide direct services through their organization. So if you are a typical city reaching organization, you may never post a need, and that's okay. But we want you to be educated in what that looks like and how that works, so that, you know, as you're sharing Meet the Need with churches and ministries that you're working with, you can, you know, talk about that intelligently. But what you're going to do is you're going to empower your churches and ministries to post those ongoing needs, and then you simply show those needs on your website, and those needs show on the church's websites and ministries' websites looking like their website, to help promote the needs in the community. If you do post needs, like for a collaborative event, for family needs, etc., then you're going to post through your city reaching organization dashboard and share that link with your churches and ministries for their website. And you can also share the link. Don't forget, these links that you're creating to share needs are not only for your website, but you can share them in social media. You know, if you're doing a Facebook post or a tweet, or you're sending emails, those links can be shared in any form, wherever you would like to share them, to mobilize people to serve. Okay, we've got a question from Mark. It says, once Meet the Need is set up, how much time is needed for upkeep? Is it a full-time job, or can someone maintain Meet the Need in addition to another job? Yeah, the answer to that is the upkeep time is very small. Really, what we would consider upkeep is the connecting that you're going to be making with churches and ministries to make them aware of Meet the Need and to get them to register. Once those churches and ministries register, we actually contact them, do a welcome call, do a design call if they need one. We answer their technical questions. We do all of that technical, quote, setup. There's not really much setup to do. And that ongoing technical support that they may have. You're there to, as a city reaching organization, to make those connections happen and get them to register, and we really take it from there. So upkeep going forward, if you're not posting needs, once you put a link on your website, once you set up your template, once you start sharing with your churches and ministries, and you'll continue to do that through different, you know, events or gatherings that you have or communications that you have. But the communication and the connections is really all that you are needed to do as a city reaching organization, and the Meet the Need takes care of the rest. And yeah, you can do it in addition to another job, for sure. We're here to help take the workload off of you, not give you more work to do. We always say, if it's taking more time for you to implement Meet the Need than what your other job, than what your job was previously, then you're not using our best practices, and then we'll have a conversation and help you through that. All right, I wanted to show you another example. You saw Serve OK's website that Jennifer was sharing. This is actually Serve Florida. They're not related in any way. But Serve Florida is in Venice, Florida, and this is their web page, and they have these great buttons, again, that focus on those 3 different audiences, just like Serve OK. I want to help focuses on the volunteers wanting to volunteer. I need help they use the standard Meet the Need directory that's free for people who need help to be able to search and find organizations that have registered with Meet the Need. And then Join Us, it's free. They have links for their churches and their nonprofits to go and join Meet the Need. So another great example using big buttons that really drive home their mission and vision. but Meet the Need kind of powering that behind the scenes for them. Here's another city reaching organization. It's Advancing Vibrant Communities. They're actually a city reaching organization that's also a ministry. They do a lot of connecting goods being donated with families in need in the community. So they have a list of needs in the community, which is all the organizations, and they're very active in sharing Meet the Need at different events and meetings. And then they have a button where churches and ministries can sign up for those ministry leaders. Then they have a standard directory of Meet the Need users, churches and ministries for people to search to be able to connect. And then they have a button for just their needs because they have a lot of needs for families, and they wanted to kind of call that out so people can adopt those needs as well. But they're kind of a hybrid of a ministry and a city reaching organization, and a great example of a kind of a power Meet the Need user. Meet the Need search page for volunteers. Here's an example of what our new search page is going to look like. We're going to go over this more in detail towards the end of the webinar in just a few minutes. But as a city reaching organization, you would have a search page that would show all the needs in the area posted by different organizations. And then the volunteers can sort by the different parameters on the left, and those needs show up on the right. It's very easy for them to click to select or to see more and to commit to those needs. You also have access as a city reaching organization to a Meet the Need directory. This is a no-cost directory that lists all the churches and ministries in your area. It's by zip code and miles radius that are using Meet the Need and what type of services they offer. And then individuals can view the details and go and connect offline directly with those organizations. Now, ServeOK has a customized directory if you go to their website, and they have different categories, different subcategories, and organizations register for the customized directory. They approve who shows up in that directory. It's separate from Meet the Need. They don't necessarily have to register with Meet the Need to show up, but we do offer this no-cost directory as well, where it automatically shows the organizations in your area that are joining Meet the Need in real time. We do recommend for city reaching organizations to have some sort of a landing page that talks about kind of your partnership with Meet the Need and your organization. This is Hope for Miami. They have something called the problem in the area and what the solution is and how Meet the Need is helping them to fulfill that solution and how they can learn more and register with Meet the Need. So having some sort of a landing page is a great way. ServeOK had a good one as well. So does Serve Florida, to be able to communicate that partnership. This is the customized directory that we've alluded to a few times that ServeOK has. With the customized directory, it does look like your website. It is a separate database for Meet the Need. You can create your own categories and subcategories, and organizations can register and update their records themselves. They don't have to go through Meet the Need or through you necessarily. They can manage that themselves. You as a city reaching organization can customize the fields that you want to collect at registration, and then you have access to an administrative portal or platform to approve or disapprove and to run organizations that have registered and to run reports and to download and upload your current database, or sorry, to download whoever's in the directory, and we can also upload whatever your current database is to get you started with that directory. So if the customized directory is something you're interested in, let us know. That is something that we ask that you that we get a gift for to help cover our development costs for that. But that is something that's available for you as a city reaching organization. All right, keeping the momentum going. We definitely want to recommend that you empower your partners with the full Meet the Need solution. Even if a single need isn't being shared between organizations, maybe they're just using it for their own church needs, it's a start. But encouraging them to use the full solution and all the modules of Meet the Need, especially churches, it helps to keep that momentum going. Engaging your partners about sharing Meet the Need regularly through newsletters, email, social media, reminding them to share with other churches, share with other ministries, and even to share needs on their website and with their volunteer base. You want to continue to equip by training and continued education. We give you a lot of Meet the Need newsletters, blogs, and social media posts. Definitely take those posts as you see them and share them and rebrand them, for your city. We're here, whatever we put out, we want you to use to mobilize more to serve. And then, of course, to connect. You want to help individuals and leaders to connect with citywide services and needs throughout your website. Continue to connect them in a variety of ways. And really, by empowering, engaging, equipping, and connecting, unity becomes the byproduct of all of that. If all of that is happening, then unity is going to happen through the unified platform without leading in with churches and saying, hey, let's all unify together and get on the same platform. A lot of times that will scare churches off because they're not ready to play in the sandbox with other churches yet. That's a God thing that, God needs to move their hearts to do that. But you can empower, engage, equip, and connect, and then unity becomes the byproduct of that. All right, I've got some exciting things to show you. I've got 10 more minutes here about some new features that are coming next week live with Meet the Need. There's going to be a reformatted search page. I'm going to show you print screens of these in just a moment. You can customize that search page. There's a shorter volunteer commitment process. Group signups are available by invitation. There's volunteer check-in options, real-time reporting of actual hours served, a volunteer profile tracking, as well as group profile tracking. So all of this is going live next week. We actually went live back in September or October with 20 plus of our power users, and they've been testing it and running it through the ringer and giving us feedback, and we've been making changes. And so it is ready to go system-wide now, and all of our churches and ministries and city-reaching organizations that are already using Meet the Need, any links that you have on your website will automatically update. You don't have to go and change anything, which is awesome. So when you go to your website next week and you're like, wait a minute, my search page looks different, you'll know why. It's because of these changes that are happening, and they are great changes. So let's take a look. The new search page, instead of being the search box at the top and the results at the bottom, instead the search parameters are on the left, the results are on the right. Some of the new things that come with this page is much more mobile friendly, which is good for volunteers trying to adopt needs through their phone. There's more search capabilities on the left, and you have more control over those search capabilities, which I'll show you in just a minute. There's real-time search results, so as you are making changes on the left, those results are automatically changing on the right. We do have some customized features here like age range and campus. If you're a church or a ministry that wants to give those options to your volunteers, we can turn those options on for you. And then the type, the categories and subcategories of needs that are being searched. With the new search page, only categories and subcategories show if needs are posted in those. So it keeps the search page a lot cleaner and easier to maneuver. We also have a monthly calendar view. So it defaults to the list view, but if you as a user switch to the calendar view, those needs will show on the calendar. And we're updating all of our category icons, or we've updated them with different colors and similar fonts so that it looks a lot more uniform, but yet at the same time very appealing. And then we've also added a post offer button, which we talked about with Jennifer, and this will allow your volunteers, if they don't see a need that they can help with at that time, if they go down and narrow down by category and subcategory and nothing's there, this post offer button will automatically appear, and they can post and say, hey, I want to do this, and an email will automatically go out to all the local key contacts so that you guys know what offers are out there, and you can access a list of current offers from your dashboard as a key contact. This new search page is customizable. If you are logged in as an approved key contact and you hit Control-Y on your search page, you're going to have access to screens that look similar to these, where you can go in and turn on or turn off any feature or parameter that's on the left-hand side of your search page. So if you want the campus filter, you can go in and turn that on, or turn it off if you don't want it, or if you don't want to show the date filter, or you don't want to show that post offers button, you can turn that off, or you want to change different things. You have more control now as an administrator over the search page that's on your website. There is a shorter commitment process. It used to be, I think, 5 steps. Now it's only really 2 steps. They see the details of the need. They either log in or register, short registration process, and then they get the confirmation page and emails. So very easy to use, very quick to adopt a need as an individual. We added a feature for group signups, or if groups are wanting to serve together. There's a few more steps, but it gives you as an administrator a lot more information and connection to those groups, and for the leader to have connection to those groups. But they would see the details, they would log in, they would choose what type of group they are, school, church, family, business, and then they have 2 choices. They can select to send the link to their group members for them to register themselves. It'll kind of reserve that need for the quantity, and then each group member will get a link and they'll click it and they'll register. Or they can choose to enter the group details as the group leader and enter in each person and their email address, and then those reminders or confirmation and reminders will go to the individual group members. So a lot more group functionality. We've also added barcodes in the confirmation pages and emails so that you can do barcode check-in too, which we'll talk about here in just a sec. Oh, it's right here. Volunteer check-in options. Because the barcode's been added to the confirmation page and emails, by request, we can give you this express check-in where you can check in volunteers through the barcode scanner or by manually looking them up. Or if you don't want to use the barcode, that's fine. You can use the manual check-in through the daily report on your dashboard. There's a check-in button beside each person that's registered, and you can check them in, and it will actually track the time they checked in, the time you checked them out, or they checked themselves out, and record the actual hours served and move that need from pending to completed based on the time that they served. So it kind of eliminates a step for you having to go back in and complete it and say they showed up or they didn't show up and do a reconciliation as an administrator. This is the real-time reporting. If you use the check-in, it will track who's checked in on which campus, if you're using multiple campuses, what time they checked in, what time they checked out, and you can export and get reports on all of those check-in hours through the real-time reporting. Also, we have volunteer profiles. This has been live for a while, but I wanted to point this out. If you go to My Account, Approved Members, and click on a name, there's actually 5 tabs of information that you can get on a particular volunteer. You can get their profile, see what training they've attended, what groups they're a part of. I wanted to show you this because of the groups, what teams they're a part of, and their history of their serving hours. So very in-depth volunteer profile that captures all of that group information as that's happening from the volunteer side. Then group profiles you can also access as an administrator. If you go to My Account, View Groups, you can see a list of all the groups that have signed up under your organization. You can see what members are in those groups, what commitments are pending for those groups, and see information from this level as well. All right, so that's quite a bit of features that are coming live next week, and so take advantage of those. Look at it if you have any questions. Obviously, contact your member service representative. We're here to help you out. But we also have a new website coming. We're changing the format of our website, Meet the Need as a whole. And as a city reaching organization, this is important because you're constantly probably directing people or directing churches and nonprofits to go and learn more about Meet the Need and to register. So the website is going to look like this, and really what we saw over time is, Meet the Need, our mission is to mobilize and to equip the church to lead millions more to Christ by following Jesus' example of meeting those in need exactly where they are. We did a really great job at developing platforms and systems and software to mobilize the church. But now we're on to the second part of that mission, and it's about equipping the church. Because what we found is that systems alone don't change hearts. Jennifer was talking about that earlier, that it's hard to get these churches on board sometimes to embrace something new. And even though they've got state-of-the-art platforms at no cost, they're still not moving to use it. And so we're kind of taking our marketing to the next level, and we're adding a whole part to Meet the Need. It's content and coaching to encourage the churches to demonstrate more compassion in their cities. The new website is going to focus more by organization type where if you're a church, a charity, or a city reaching organization, you can find out more information real quickly. But you can also, down here at the bottom, as a church, learn more, or just get the platform, or charities, learn more, or just get the, get the software, get the platform. But when you go into register, you'll register by organization type, charity, and then down here is that quick start button like we used to have on the main page. But what's added in here in the center, you see some free ebooks and resources for charities. And if I clicked on churches, there's free ebooks and resources for churches as well. So we're looking at giving more resources related to that content and coaching. And on the website, on the main page, there are resources, free resources for churches. It's a workbook for them to walk through about growing and revitalizing their church through service. There's an online assessment they can take and get feedback in real time. Of course, Jim Morgan has a blog and has had a blog for over a year now, focusing on all the different aspects of growing and revitalizing your church through service. And then we're now offering consulting services to churches to really put all of this into action and what it looks like for their specific church. So, with the new website, let me go back up to here. With the new website, we're trying to make sure it reflects the dual mission of the mobilizing, which is the software and the platform, and the equipping, which there's the growth and revitalization and creating that lifestyle of learning. So that's why we changed the website. So be looking for that next week to go live. And I've been seeing some questions pop up, and I've been answering some of them. I see one here from Ricky. It says, so if I'm an individual, how do I sort through all of the needs to find something that fits my passion? Certainly I have gifts and abilities, but how do I quickly search to find organizations I'm passionate about? That's a great question, Ricky. And if we go to the search page, I'm going to show you the new search page because that's what's coming. Let me go back up here real quick. Here is the search page. And you can search by location if you want to know, if location to where you're serving is important. You can put in a zip code and a miles radius. Maybe you know that you can only serve on particular dates. You can put that in as well. Maybe you want to bring your children and want to know which needs are appropriate for children. And then down here in the types, and I can't click on this because this is a print screen, but in the types button, it's the categories and subcategories where you search by homelessness, children, foster families, pregnancy. You sort by the different passions and abilities that you have, and as you're sorting by any of these features on the left, it gives you the results on the right that match all of those criteria. I'm trying to see if I have one. You can see here in this print screen, right here, accounting and finance is the first one. It goes in, we have over 100 different categories and subcategories that the user can search by to find needs specifically by location, date, age, and type of what they'll be doing. Okay, let me scroll down real here. Sorry to make you dizzy. If you want more, believe me, we have more. You can go to your Meet the Need dashboard when you log in and go to training, and we have plenty of training tutorials, quick ones anywhere from 60 seconds to 20 minutes. And we also have frequently asked questions of administrators and answers to those. So definitely check out those frequently asked questions and those training videos. We have other related webinars. Today was about city reaching organizations specifically, but we have webinars on events, case management, missions, reporting, external focus, best practices, and local missions. And all those are available in your help button on your dashboard. And we have the Meet the Need webinars there, and you can access the last 12 months of archives. Keep in mind our next user webinar is Tuesday, June 7th at 1 p.m. It's not the second Tuesday of every month in June, or it's not this, in June it's not the second Tuesday, but every other month it will be. We're going to talk about Meet the Need best practices and power users, and there won't be a webinar in July. You can go ahead and join with us through our website, Jim Morgan's blog. You get a newsletter typically once a month-ish from us. We have our recorded webinars, and we're also very active on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and LinkedIn, so definitely join us through those networks as well, because we give out a multitude of information that you can use throughout the year. We are your Meet the Need member services team. This is me, Tanya Nichols, and Maurice Jackson. I'm sure you've heard of one of our names, as one of us will be assigned to you as you join Meet the Need, and we're here to support all churches and ministries as you move forward in implementing. But I want to thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, definitely contact us offline, and we're here to serve you. But have a blessed day, and I hope that you got just a few nuggets of information that you can use in your city. Talk to you soon.